Hi girls, how are you doing? Continue going to Japan, page 856, line 45. Or 41, let's start from, or 41, yes. My hosts explained to me that the Japanese language does not accommodate insults, only infinite degrees of apology. I quickly memorize an urgent one, somimasa, and another for specially extreme cases when you want to apologize, Moshiwe Gaziamasen. This translates approximately to mean, if you please, my transgression is so inexcusable that I wish I were dead. I needed these words when I touched the outside surface of a palace wall, curious to know what it was made of. She went and she touched the palace wall. I set off screeching alarms, and a police car came when she was touching the palace wall. Scooting up the lawn's discreet gravel path, Moshi wake Gazimasen. Officer, I wish I were dead. And in the public bath, she went to a public bath. Try as I might, I couldn't get the hang of showering with a handheld nozzle while sitting 14 inches from a stranger. So what did she do when she couldn't hold it? Well, she sprayed her elderly neighbor with cold water in the face. So she had to apologize, of course. So she said the magic sentence, the magic letters, Mushiwe Gazimasen, I declared with feelings. She merely stared, dismayed by the foreign's menace. I visited a Japanese friend and ate her small, perfect thing because their houses are very small. Small, perfect house, I spewed out my misery. Everything I do is wrong. I will like a child. I'm a blight on your country. Her friend should say, no, come. She said calmly, to forgive for us is the highest satisfaction. To forgive a foreigner, even better. So she is telling her, it's okay, those people today, they are happy because they had to forgive you, and forgiveness is the highest pleasure in the Japanese culture. Even better, she smiled, and also you give them a chance to forgive a foreigner. This is much better. She smiled, you've probably made many people happy here. To stomp about the word ignoring cultural differences is arrogant. To be sure, but perhaps there is another kind of arrogance in the presumption but that we may ever really build a faultless bridge from one shore to another, or even know where the mist has ceded to landfall what is said to give up or give way. When I finally arrived at ground zero in Hiroshima, and we said the ground zero where the Hiroshima bomb fell on Japan, I stood speechless. What I found there was a vast and exquisitely silent monument to forgiveness. They built the monument to forgiveness. I was moved beyond words. I was so inspired, even beyond tears. It was so sad and inspiring to think of all that can be lost or gained in the gulf between any act of will and its consequences. In the course of every failure of understanding, we have so much to learn. I remember my Japanese friend's insistence on forgiveness as the highest satisfaction. She remembered now the sentence that her friend said to her, that forgiveness is the highest satisfaction. And I understood it really for the first time. What a rich wisdom. It is a rich wisdom. It would be. And how much more bountiful a harvest. A harvest that when you plant, and this is time to harvest, to collect what you planted. To gain. So it is something you collect, something you plant and then you get its benefits. To gain pleasure. Not from achieving personal perfection. They gain pleasure not from perfection, but from understanding the inevitability of imperfection and pardoning those who also fall short of it. So they are happy not because they are perfect. No, they are happy because they understand that they are not perfect and understand that the others or other people make mistake, and it's great to forgive them. Let's read the two questions we missed. C was a humor. Reread lines here. Reread lines 49, 53. Do you think that accidentally splashing someone is grounds for being labeled a foreign menace? Identify the humorous. Menace is like humiliation. Identify the humorous technique Kingsolver uses her. So when she splashed the water on the woman, what's happening here? She used what? She used exaggeration. So, right? So she used hyperbole, as we said, exaggeration, to make the anecdote amusing, to show you that the situation was so amusing. Go to question D. Summarize. This is the skill you took. What is Kingsolver's main point in lines 69 to 73? What does she want to say? Summarize the feelings she expresses about forgiveness in this passage. That people can what? People can get satisfaction from accepting and forgiving human errors. Then they get satisfaction from striving to be perfect, from perfection. No, they don't get their satisfaction from perfection. They get satisfaction from forgiving. I have walked among men and made mistakes with numbers. When I went to Japan, I took my abject goodwill. Abject means what? Exceedingly humble. Goodwill, my baleful. Baleful is destructive, evil, excuses. My cringing. Remorse. Remorse is regret. I couldn't remember everything, could not even recite the proper alphabet, so I gave myself away instead. Evidently, as a kind of public service, I prepared to return home feeling empty-handed. At the Osaka airport, I sat in my place on the runway waiting to leave for a typhoon. There was a typhoon, like a storm. Where is it? Leave for terra cognita. Terra cognita is a familiar land or country. Where are we? I'm lost. Here is it. It's because I read from the mobile. As the aircraft's steel walls were buffeted by the sleet and winds of a typhoon. So she was there at the airport and she saw the aircraft's steel walls. The walls were buffeted by the sleet and winds of a typhoon. Typhoon is a hurricane. We waited for an hour, then longer, with no official word from the cockpit. And then suddenly our flight was cancelled. Air traffic control in Tokyo had been struck by lightning. The air traffic had been struck by lightning. No flights possible until the following day. We are so sorry, the pilot told us. You will be taken to a hotel, fed, and brought back here for your flight tomorrow. So they cancelled the flight due to striking the traffics. As we we finished this. As we passengers rose slowly and disembarked, depressed, we were met by an airline official who had been posted in the exit port for the sole purpose of saying to each and every one of us, terrible, sumimasen. Other travelers nodded indifferently, but not me. I took the startled gentleman by the hands and practically kissed him. You have no idea, I told him, how thoroughly I forgive you. Why she did this? She wanted to feel this satisfaction of forgiving people. The message here, girls, is wonderful. The message is that you forgive. You have to forgive. When you forgive, you yourself get the satisfaction, not the other. If someone make a mistake and he made you feel sad for any reason and he apologized and you forgive him, it's a gift for yourself. You're giving yourself a gift. You're gifting yourself the gift of forgiveness. You have to forgive. Even if the situation is hard and it's heartbroken and it was awful, but you have to forgive because forgiveness satisfies you. You are satisfied with the forgiveness you give others. And when you can forgive others, you eventually will forgive yourself for any mistake you do. After you make a mistake, you just learn from the mistake, forgive yourself, accept that we are humans, we make mistakes, accept your faultless life faultless life and others faultless life. Okay, fault is mistake, unless it means no mistakes. No, so it is okay, we are human, we make mistakes. Forgive yourself, forgive others. It's the best gift you can give to yourself and others. Thank you, girls, and see you soon.